Get ready, folks. I think I'm going to have a fun time with this game. This is Artifact Cup 30, and we're in round 5, so this is the middle game. We're at the midpoint in the tournament. There are 9 rounds total, so this is the first one that we're going to watch on, well, okay, it's the first one that I'm casting. I'm going to reorder the videos before I upload them to be in the order of how they appear on the screen. But anyway, we're on Noneyadambus Passage, because this is round 5, and this is going to be pretty fun because we're watching 2 of my favorite players to watch. Not my top favorite necessarily. I think some others might hold that place, but these are definitely in like the top 5 of the players who I'm most excited to see in the Artifact Cup right now. So let's introduce them real quick. Make sure we can see them. This is Megarith. And we know that I love watching Megarith's Space Runner movements. We like seeing Megarith do things with carriers. I'm going to watch him here and see what he does, but his opponent should also be watched because he is fighting. Both players are Coalition, by the way, and Megarith's opponent is Noneyadambus, who's given us some really interesting and also, quite frankly, infuriating games to watch so far in Artifact Cup 30. If you haven't seen those other games, go ahead and watch them, but the pattern that we see from Noneyadambus is that he really likes Space Runners. He really likes turrets, both varieties. Generally the regular turrets first, and then AA turrets later on. And then there's another unit he really likes, but we're not going to talk about it quite yet. We are going to talk about what Megarith is doing. He's moving his Base Runner really close. And he's definitely going to drop a turret right here. You can see the turret timers counting down. He's positioning his Base Runner right at Noneyadambus' expansion point. And he's also got, let's see, 6 LAVs. So he's definitely opening up with some early aggression. Why is this going to be an exciting game, or why could it be an exciting game? Well, so far in the Artifact Cup, in Artifact Cup 30, Noneyadambus and Megarith have both lost all of their games. So these are, at least as the score is to be determined, these are even players on even ground, and both players are opening up with turrets. So this is pretty cool. I didn't know that Megarith was going to open up with turrets and sort of use Noneyadambus' trick against him, but as you can see, Noneyadambus has already lost a few salvagers, and Noneyadambus' own turret has not gotten any kills. Megarith's turret has a high ground bonus when it's firing in this area. You can sort of see, you can kind of see the hill, but at the very least you can see the plus when it's firing. So Noneyadambus has his carrier up here, which is a really good move. Just look at all this. You can see the high ground bonus there. You can see the high ground bonus there. And actually, Noneyadambus is doing exactly the right thing right here. His turret is slaughtering the LAVs for Megarith. Really well positioned, actually. Meanwhile, he's using his carrier. Carriers are really effective against turrets. You can see the turret's doing basically nothing to the carrier. Carrier blows up the turret. This turret here from Noneyadambus, the second turret, seems to be more of a desperate move. But this first turret, I want to talk about this. This was an excellently placed turret. It looks like a little bit off just because it's like on this side, but it was getting high ground bonus when firing into this area. This covers a huge arc and can even defend the resource and pocket back home. So I frequently criticize Noneyadambus for poor turret placement, and I want to give praise right now. This is really good turret placement. Do more of this. It's one turret sitting all on its own. Well, it was before he brought us Sporkers. But anyway, there's no other turrets here, which is awesome. It means that there's more opportunity to spread out fire. It looks like Noneyadambus might even place a turret over here, which is also awesome because that can shoot back here to cover this arc. It can cover this whole arc, and it's always on that top section, so it's always going to be getting a high ground bonus wherever it fires. Really good. This turret, not so much, but it was a quick move to try and defend the resourcing, so we can forgive it. I just think it's cool to see Noneyadambus progress through the cup and sort of evolve as a player.
Light attack vehicle online. We have insufficient CU.
Underway. A railgun is taking effective fire.
So I don't know if it's going to happen, but I just think it would be hilarious if this LAV could micro well enough to evade the railgun and take out this rail. I think it could happen. Oh no, there's LAVs here. Okay. So we won't have that. Anyway, Megarith totally pulling a Noneyadambus. Well, no, pulling a new Noneyadambus here by building a turret that's fairly well positioned. This one a little off, is not going to be able to shoot terribly well onto the other side, so not the greatest turret, but it is a good defense there. I want to talk about resourcing real quick, because this is one place where Megarith is doing much better. He's got a support cruiser back home. These salvages are all mining happily. He's got his carrier up, mining from this second point, and he's remote mining just now, starting to anyway, from his third expansion. Noneyadambus has a support cruiser, but he's remote mining off of both of these points, so the support cruiser really should be back at the main expansion. Because when you've got 6 salvagers there, you want them to be dropping off right away. And then this carrier, you know, you can have remote mining from the second point. And moving the carrier up front is fine. Remote mining off of one expansion, yeah, that's okay, especially at this point in the game. We're not even 10 minutes in. But don't be remote mining off of 2 of these when you've got 2 drop-off points. You definitely want to be remote mining from at most 1 at a time, I think. Now, let's take a look at the tech, because I think Noneyadambus is kind of in trouble. You'll notice he really doesn't have any military. Megarith does have railgun tech, and has a couple railguns out. And is otherwise really just scouting around, not doing much. Researching support cruiser anti-air that's very defensive. He might be thinking that Noneyadambus is just going for aircraft, which is a reasonable assumption given that Megarith has not seen any military from Noneyadambus yet. Excuse me, I'm tripping over my words a little bit, but I'll try and slow down and not do that as much. Noneyadambus is getting Power Reserve 3, so that's good for him. He does not have any artifacts captured, so he doesn't have tons of carrier power, but having some, especially in range, which is good, is going to help him poke at some of these scouts. And he's also got pretty good control over the extraction zone. You know, if this base runner tries to move in, Noneyadambus could, if he wanted to, probably intercept it with the carrier alone. The trick is going to be, can he do that before Megarith brings these railguns in and threatens the carrier? And this is where I'm kind of wondering, like, what is Megarith doing on resources? He's got a fair bit of float. There's another nice turret here from Noneyadambus. Gonna have trouble fire. It actually might be able to fire over there. It's hard to tell.
Enemy support vehicle authenticated.
Here's Noneyadambus using the carrier to push out these scouts, which is nice, and asserting that this extraction zone for Megarith is Noneyadambus's property here. Or his, excuse me, wrong button.
Carrier repair systems are unavailable.
Which is good. It means that he's going to think twice about moving this base runner in.
We have eyes on an artifact. Stand by. Fleet logistics.
But I'm really worried about...
Railgun online.
Well, I'm worried about 2 things. One is Noneyadambus doesn't have a military. He's just getting Power Reserve. Now, if he takes this Power Reserve all the way to 5, that could be really good. I feel like he needs some scouts, but we're going to see. And the other thing I'm worried about is that Megarith doesn't have enough railguns. He's starting to deal with that now, but for a while he just had 3, and this carrier could have waltzed in anywhere it wanted. Megarith is really paranoid about air because he's built an anti-air turret here, and he also has research support cruiser anti-air. Megarith has not gone for AAV fabrication or fighter and gunship fabrication, so he's really going with a pure railgun and LAV strategy. He's also only upgraded railgun damage.
Support cruiser now operational. Proceed to
but he is also going for Power Reserve, so relatively... All things considered, these are relatively similar strategies. The difference is that Megarith has railguns.
Railgun operational.
And I'm really concerned for Noneyadambus here if these railguns come in, and I think Noneyadambus has to use his carrier soon. He's got the power, and he's going for... Noneyadambus, man, okay. Why are you upgrading carrier production if you aren't building any units? You're not using your production queues. Don't buy this. How are you going to use this? You have carrier power. Spend it on power reserve. You probably have the resource to get power reserve. You've got a more powerful carrier right now than Megarith, because Megarith is only just now getting power reserve 4. You could be getting power reserve 5. Dude, these railguns aren't here. Your carrier can kill this dude. Or, you know, until these railguns fire on your carrier, they can. You've got to take care of this, well, we'll watch the fight, but ugh, look at this. These railguns are really well positioned. They didn't advance. They're just waiting here on this hill, and Noneyadambus walks right into the trap. That's really pretty brutal, and you know, I did say that Megarith didn't have enough railguns and that he needed to solve that, and he did. 8 railguns is enough, especially when Noneyadambus was not aggressive enough with the carrier with the power that he had. And given that Noneyadambus doesn't have a nuke, he can't really take care of that. If he did have a nuke, like with power reserve 5, then these railguns could all be taken out in one hit for just 500 CUs, and then Noneyadambus' superior carrier could take out Megariths here. Now, there's like a very brief window where that could still sort of happen if Noneyadambus had been pumping out railguns, say. He doesn't have the technology for that. He actually doesn't have the technology for really anything. But look at how damaged Megarith's carrier is right now. And Noneyadambus is alive just until these railguns get in range over that hill. But for now, Noneyadambus lives. And Megarith's carrier gets astoundingly low considering. Less than a third health there. So Noneyadambus will go down, but I just want to point out here the circumstances under which that happened. Noneyadambus did that with 1 support cruiser, remote mining, never raiding Megarith's territory, let Megarith have 3 bases completely undisturbed. Never went for artifacts or applied artifact pressure despite having 2 base runners. These are, I'm listing off all of the reasons that Noneyadambus basically should have died right away at the beginning of the game, where the game should have been over in 5 minutes, right? Noneyadambus never built a combat unit. I might have missed a unit at the end there that was an AAV or something like that. He had AAV tech, but I believe he never built a combat unit, not even an LAV. And, oh, that's not true. He did build an LAV once that raided that railgun over here. But really, he basically never built a combat unit. I don't think he ever killed a unit of Megariths per se with his own units. Like, he killed them with turrets, right? But despite all of that, and despite, I can't see it right now because it's at the end of the game, but I'm sure that Noneyadambus also had some float, because what was he doing with his resources, even though he was dealing with much reduced income? Despite all of that, he gets Megarith's carrier down below a third health. So I want to give credit where credit is due here. Megarith won the game, so he is the superior player from this match. That is for sure, and that's not being contested. But dude, Noneyadambus, A, you have so many easy things that you can do better, and 2, holy crap, less than a third. Like, this should never have been possible. Now, maybe Megarith was just playing this for fun and, you know, figured, okay, whatever, if I take damage, it doesn't matter. I'm in control of the situation. I know I'm going to win, so why does it matter how... But, like, there are so many ways that could have gone wrong for you. If Noneyadambus had a nuke, which is completely reasonable to assume, given that he wasn't spending money on anything else at all, you would have been so dead. Like, that moment where... like, Noneyadambus' carrier, just like 30 seconds or 10 seconds before it blew up, was like over here. All of the railguns were clustered up on the hill, and this carrier was right here. Nuke. Instant victory for Noneyadambus. But Noneyadambus got production. He got an additional production queue. Oh, it's so frustrating. Really interesting game to see, though, because this is the first game from Noneyadambus I'm seeing where he both placed good turrets and did not build assault cruisers, even though that would have probably helped, maybe. And didn't go 100% for turrets. He really made an impact here, and I think was much closer to victory than he might have felt. So, interesting game for sure, and I will be closely following both Megarith and Noneyadambus in the remainder of the cup. But at least for now, Megarith can climb out of the 0 victories hole. Noneyadambus will stay there for a little while at least. But Megarith is now up at 1 point at round 5 of Artifact Cup 30. So this is only one of many more games that will be on Taidan Passage, so I will cast those shortly. And then I'm going to reorder all the videos into whatever order makes sense given the... I don't know, maybe I won't, whatever. In any case, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.